The night was quiet in the mountains of Gangwon Province. Park Do-eun sat on the wooden porch of his old farmhouse. He held a cup of warm tea in his hands. The autumn wind moved through the trees and made the leaves dance. Stars filled the sky above him. Do-hun was 34 years old. He had been a combat medic in the army for 10 years. He had seen many terrible things. He had saved many lives. But he had also lost people he could not save. The memories followed him like shadows. 2 years ago, he left the military. He came to live on his grandfather's farm. Here, there was only silence. Only peace. Only him. He liked it that way. Do-hun took a sip of his tea. He looked at the rice fields that spread out before his house. The harvest was finished. The fields were empty now, waiting for winter. Everything was calm. Then he saw it. A light appeared in the sky. It was bright, brighter than any star. It moved fast across the darkness. At first, Do-eun thought it was a shooting star. He had seen many of those, but this was different. This light did not fade. It grew bigger. It grew brighter, and it was falling. Do-hun stood up. His teacup fell from his hands and broke on the wooden floor. He did not notice. His eyes were fixed on the sky. The light screamed through the air. It made a sound like thunder. The trees shook. Birds flew away in fear. Then the light hit the ground. The explosion knocked Do-eun off his feet. He fell hard on the porch. The earth shook beneath him like it was alive. Windows in his house broke. The sound was so loud that his ears rang. For a long moment, Do-eun lay there. He breathed hard. His heart beat fast in his chest. Then, slowly, he got up. He looked toward his rice field fire. There was fire in his field. Smoke rose into the night sky. Something had crashed there. Do-eun's first thought was to call someone. The police. The military. Anyone. But he lived far from the nearest town. His phone had no signal here. He was alone. His second thought was to stay inside, to wait until morning, to let someone else deal with this. But Do-eun was not that kind of man. He never had been. That was why he became a medic. When others ran away from danger, he ran toward it. It was his nature. He could not change it. He went inside and grabbed his flashlight. He also took his old medical bag. He did not know why. It was just habit. Then he walked toward the fire. The walk across the field took 5 minutes. With every step, the air grew warmer. The smell of smoke filled his nose. But there was another smell too. Something strange. Something he had never smelled before. It was like metal and flowers and lightning all mixed together. When he reached the crash site, Do-eun stopped. His flashlight shook in his hand. This was not a meteor. This was not a plane. This was something else entirely. The thing in his field was a ship, but it was not like any ship he had ever seen. It was not made of steel or metal. It looked alive. The surface was smooth, like a shell from the ocean. It had colors that shifted and changed, purple and blue and silver. Parts of it looked like wings, but they were torn and broken. Smoke came from cracks in its body. Do-hun stood there for a long time. His mind could not understand what he was seeing. This was impossible. This could not be real. But it was. It was right there in front of him. Then he heard a sound. It came from inside the ship. It was soft, weak. It sounded like someone in pain. Do-eun's training took over. He did not think. He just moved. He walked around the ship, looking for a way inside. He found an opening on one side. It looked like a wound in the ship's body. He squeezed through it. Inside the ship was dark. His flashlight showed walls that curved and flowed like water frozen in place. Strange symbols glowed softly on the surfaces. The air was thick and hard to breathe, and there in the center of the ship, he found her. She was not human. Do-eun's breath caught in his throat. The creature before him was tall, taller than any human. Her body was thin and elegant. Her skin was pale, almost silver, and it seemed to glow faintly. She had 4 arms, each one long and graceful. Her face was strange and beautiful. Large eyes that reflected light like jewels. a small mouth. No nose that he could see, but the most amazing thing was her wings. They grew from her back, large and delicate like the wings of a butterfly. They had colors that Doan had no words for. Colors that did not exist on Earth, but the wings were torn, broken, and from the wounds, light poured out. Not blood, light, blue and gold and white. She was dying. Doan knelt beside her. His hands moved without thinking. He opened his medical bag. He did not know if human medicine would work on her. He did not know anything about her body, but he had to try. He could not watch anyone die without trying to help. He worked quickly. He used bandages to cover the wounds on her wings. He used cloth to stop the light from pouring out. It was strange. The light felt warm against his fingers. It felt alive as he worked. Her eyes opened. They were beautiful, deep purple, like the sky at sunset. They looked at him with confusion, then with fear, then with something else, something like wonder. Her mouth opened. Doan expected strange sounds, clicks or whistles, or something alien. But instead, he heard words, Korean words. His own language. Her voice was weak. It was barely more than a whisper, but every word was clear. You should not help me? Doan stopped working. He stared at her. You can speak my language? She did not answer his question. Her eyes were fixed on his face. There was sadness in them, deep, terrible sadness. They will come for me, she whispered. They are already coming, and when they find me here, she paused. Her hand, one of her 4 hands, reached up and touched his face. Her fingers were cold. They trembled. They will kill your entire world for this. Doan felt ice in his chest. He looked at this creature, this impossible being from somewhere beyond the stars. He saw the fear in her eyes. He saw the truth there. She was not lying. Outside, the fire still burned in his field. Above, the stars watched in silence. And somewhere out there, in the darkness between worlds, something was coming. Something terrible. But Park Do-han did not run. He did not leave her. He picked up his bandages and continued his work. Then I better work fast, he said quietly. The alien queen stared at him. She did not understand. No one had ever helped her without wanting something in return. No one had ever stayed when they knew the danger. But this human stayed. And in that moment, everything changed. 3 days passed since the crash. Doan had moved the alien into his farmhouse. She was too weak to walk, so he carried her. She was lighter than he expected, like her bones were hollow. He put her in his bedroom and gave her his bed. He slept on the floor beside her. He did not sleep much. Every few hours, he checked her wounds. The light had stopped pouring from her wings. The bandages seemed to help, but she was still very weak. She spent most of her time sleeping. When she was awake, she watched him with those purple eyes. On the 3rd day, she finally spoke again. Why? She asked. Her voice was stronger now, but still soft. Why do you help me? Doan was making soup in the kitchen. Simple food. Rice and vegetables. He did not know if she could eat human food, but he had to try something. He thought about her question. I was a medic, he said. A healer. It is what I do, but I am not your kind. You were hurt. You needed help. That is enough. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, My name is difficult for your mouth to speak, but you may call me Hannah. Doan brought the soup to her. Hannah, that is a Korean name. It means one. Yes, I am the last one. The last of my blood. That is why they hunt me. Don sat down beside the bed. Tell me, he said. Tell me who you are. Tell me why they want to kill you. And tell me why they would destroy my world. Hannah closed her eyes. When she opened them again, they were filled with old pain. I'm the queen of the Velith sovereignty, she began. My people rule 12 star systems. We have lived among the stars for 10,000 of your years. We built cities on worlds your people cannot even see. We are old. We are powerful. Her 4 hands gripped the blanket. But power makes people hungry. There are those who wanted my throne. My general, A man named Vex led others against me. They killed my guards. They killed my family. They took everything. Owan listened in silence. He had seen coups before. He had seen what happened when power-hungry men took control. It was the same everywhere, it seemed, even among the stars. I escaped, Hannah continued. I ran. I flew through space for many days. My ship was damaged. I was dying. And then I found your world, Earth, Doan said. Yes, Earth. A protected world. Your people are young. You have not yet learned to travel between stars. By galactic law, no one is allowed to contact you. No one is allowed to interfere with your growth. Your world is supposed to be safe. But Dex does not care about the law, Doan said. He does not. He cares only about power. And as long as I am alive, his power is not complete. The people might rise against him. The loyalists might fight back. But if I am dead, he wins. Forever. Doan understood now. He understood everything. This woman, this alien queen, was the last hope for her people, and he was hiding her in his farmhouse. You said they would destroy my world, he said quietly. Why? Hannah looked at him with sad eyes. Because you helped me. In Nex's mind, that makes your people my allies. He will say that Earth broke galactic law by interfering. He will use that as an excuse. He will burn your world and say it was justice. Felt cold. He thought about all the people on Earth, his sister and soul, his friends, everyone he had ever known. All of them would die because he helped one injured stranger, but he did not regret it. He could not. Letting someone die was not in his nature. What do we do? He asked. Hannah shook her head. I do not know. My ship is destroyed. I cannot call for help. I cannot fight. All I can do is wait for death. Doan said firmly. That is not good enough. There must be something. Before Hannah could answer, Doan's phone buzzed. He looked at it in surprise. He had not had signal in days. But now, somehow, one message had come through. It was from his sister Yunari. The message was short. Something strange is happening. Military everywhere. They are hiding something big. Call me when you can. What? Doan stared at the message. His sister was a journalist. She was always looking for stories. But this time the story had found her. He did not call her back. It was too dangerous. If someone was listening, they might find him. They might find Hannah. That night, Doan sat outside and watched the sky. The stars looked different now. Before they had been beautiful, peaceful. Now he knew the truth. There were empires out there, wars, hunters, and they were coming. He did not have to wait long. On the fourth day, Doan was working in the barn when he heard a sound. It was deep and low, like thunder that never stopped. He ran outside and looked up. 3 shapes moved across the sky. They were ships. Alien ships. They were black, like shadows against the clouds. They moved in formation, circling like birds looking for prey. They had found her. Doan ran back to the house. Hannah was awake. She had heard the sound too. Her face was pale with fear. They are here, she whispered. Can they find us? Doan asked. My ship gave off a signal when it crashed. They know I am in this area. But this area is large. They will have to search. Then we move. Now. He did not give her time to argue. He picked her up in his arms and carried her out the back door. Behind his house there was a path through the forest. It led to an old mine that had been closed for 30 years. No one went there anymore. No one remembered it existed. Doan remembered. He had played there as a child. His grandfather had warned him to stay away. But children never listen. The walk through the forest was hard. Hannah was light, but the path was rough. Branches scratched his face. Rocks made him stumble, but he did not stop. He could not stop. Behind him, he heard the ships getting closer. They were spreading out, searching. After an hour, they reached the mine. The entrance was hidden by fallen trees and old plants. Doan pushed through them and carried Hannah inside. The mine was dark and cold. Water dripped from the ceiling, but it was safe. The rock above them was thick. No signal could get through. Du-hun set Hannah down gently. She was breathing hard. The journey had tired her, Resi said. I will watch. You cannot fight them, she said weakly. They have weapons you cannot imagine. They have soldiers who have killed for 1,000 years. You are just one man, Doan smiled. It was a tired smile, but real. I know, he said, but I am not going to fight them. Not yet. First, we hide. Then we find help. Then we make a plan. Hannah looked at him for a long moment. You are strange, she said. Your people are so young, so small. You should be afraid. I am afraid, Doan admitted. But fear does not mean I stop. Fear means I am careful. Outside, the ships continued their search. Their shadows passed over the mountains. Their sensors scanned the land, but they did not find the mine. They did not find Hannah. Not yet. In Seoul, 200 kilometers away, Yunari watched the news. Every channel showed the same thing. Strange lights in the sky, military activity. The government said it was nothing. Just weather balloons. Just tests. Nari did not believe them. She had been a journalist for 8 years. She knew when the government was lying. She tried to call her brother again. No answer. She sent another message. No reply. Something was wrong. She could feel it. Nari made a decision. She packed a bag, got in her car, and started driving toward the mountains. She did not know what she would find, but she knew she had to find her brother. Above the mountains, the hunter ships continued their search. Commander Vex stood on the bridge of the largest ship. His eyes were cold and patient. She's here, he said to his officers. I can feel her, find her, and kill anyone who stands in your way. The officers bowed. They knew better than to fail. The hunt had begun. 1 week had passed since the ships arrived. The world was different now. Everyone knew something was happening. The governments tried to keep it secret, but secrets do not last when alien ships fly over cities. People were afraid. Some ran to churches and temples. Some hid in their homes. Some stood in the streets and watched the sky with wonder and terror. The old world was gone. A new world was beginning. In the mine, Doan cared for Hannah. Her wounds were healing, but slowly. She needed technology that Earth did not have. She needed medicine that no human doctor could make. But she was alive. That was enough for now. Du-hun made the mine comfortable. He brought blankets and food and water. He made a fire for warmth, careful to let the smoke escape through cracks in the rock. He did everything he could, but he knew it was not enough. They could not hide forever. On the 8th day, he heard footsteps outside the mine. He grabbed a rock, the only weapon he had, and moved toward the entrance. A voice called out. A familiar voice. Doan, are you in there? It is me, Junho. Doan dropped the rock. He ran to the entrance and pushed through the branches. Standing outside was a man in military uniform. He was tall and strong, with a serious face and kind eyes. Baek Junho Doan's oldest friend. They had served together in the army. Junho had saved Doan's life twice. Doan had saved his 3 times. They were brothers in everything but blood. How did you find me? Doan asked. Satellite images, Junho said. We saw the crash. We tracked you to your farm. Then we tracked you here. You are not as careful as you think. Junho stepped aside. Behind him were 4 more soldiers. They wore special forces uniforms. They carried advanced weapons. They looked at Doan with respect. The government knows about the aliens, Junho explained. They have known for years. They have been watching the skies. When the ships came, they mobilized us. Our mission was to find the crash site. To find what landed? Doan's heart sank. You are here to take her. No. Junho shook his head. We are here to help. He stepped forward, and put his hand on Doan's shoulder. I know you, brother. I know you would not hide something unless it was important. I saw the reports. I saw that you were caring for the alien. I convinced my commanders to let me come first, to talk to you, to understand. Doan felt relief wash over him. He was not alone anymore. He led Junho and his team into the mine. When they saw Hannah, they stopped. Their eyes went wide. Some of them stepped back in fear, but Junho stood firm. So this is her, he said quietly, the one they are hunting. She is a queen, Dohan said. Her people turned against her. The hunters want to kill her, and they say they will destroy Earth because we helped her. Junho's face hardened. They said that. Yes, they say Earth broke the law by interfering. Junho laughed. It was not a happy laugh. It was angry. We did not know she was coming. We did not ask her to crash here. One man helped an injured stranger, and they want to burn our whole planet for that? That is their way, Hannah said weakly. She had been listening. Dex does not need good reasons. He only needs excuses. Junho walked over to her. He knelt down so he could look at her face. My name is Baek Junho. I am a captain in the Korean Special Forces. And I want you to know something. His voice was calm but strong. We are not going to give you to them. We are not going to let them burn our world. They can come with their ships and their weapons. They can bring all their soldiers. But they will find that humans do not surrender. Not now, not ever. Hannah stared at him. She had met many species in her life. She had seen great warriors and clever diplomats. But she had never seen anything quite like the fire in this human's eyes. You cannot win, she said softly. They have technology you cannot understand. They have ships that can destroy cities in seconds. You have nothing that can stop them. Then we will lose, Junho said simply. But we will lose fighting. That is who we are. Over the next few days, things moved fast. Junho used his radio to contact his commanders. The commanders contacted the government. The government contacted other governments around the world. The message was simple. The aliens had demanded that Earth surrender the Queen. They had given Earth 1 week to comply. After that, they would begin the sterilization. The world leaders argued. Some wanted to surrender. Some wanted to fight. Some did not know what to do, but the people of Earth were not waiting for leaders to decide. In every country, ordinary people stood up. They said no. They would not give up a refugee to killers. They would not bow to threats. They were afraid, yes, but they were also angry. Humans did not like bullies. Meanwhile, in the mine, Doan and Hannah talked. She told him about her life among the stars. She told him about her people, the Velith, and how they had once been peaceful. She told him how power and greed had slowly poisoned them. We forgot what we used to be, she said sadly. We forgot that strength is not just about weapons and ships. It is about kindness, about helping others, about standing for what is right. She looked at Doan with wonder in her eyes. But you remembered. Your people remembered. You are so young, so small in the universe. But you have something we lost long ago? What is that? Doan asked. Heart. On the 5th day, Nari arrived. She had driven through military checkpoints and police blockades. She had lied and bribed and snuck her way through. Nothing could stop her from finding her brother. When she saw the alien queen, she almost fainted. Doan, she whispered. What have you done? I helped someone who needed help, he said simply. Just like our parents taught us. Nari was a journalist. She asked many questions. She took notes. She recorded everything Hannah told her. And slowly, her fear turned into something else. Purpose. The world needs to know the truth, she said. They are calling the aliens invaders. They are calling the Queen a threat. But she is not. She is a victim. And we are protecting her because it is right. Nari sent her story to every news agency in the world. She posted it on the internet. She made sure everyone could see it. The response was massive. People everywhere read about the queen who was betrayed by her own people. They read about the human farmer who saved her. They read about the soldiers who refused to give her up. Public opinion shifted. Leaders who had wanted to surrender faced protests. Leaders who wanted to fight gained support. Earth was becoming united, not through force or politics, but through a shared sense of right and wrong. On the 6th day, Junho received new orders. He was to bring the queen to a secure facility near Seoul. The government wanted to protect her. More importantly, they wanted to talk to her. "Can you travel?" Doan asked Hannah. "I think so," she said. "I am stronger now." They loaded into military vehicles and began the long drive to Seoul. Hannah looked out the window at the passing countryside. She saw rice fields and forests and villages. She saw children pointing at military trucks. She saw old people bowing their heads in prayer. "Your world is beautiful," she said. Yes, Doan agreed. "It is worth protecting." As they drove, Hannah was quiet for a long time. Then she spoke. "You have given me so much. You have risked everything. I want to give you something in return." She turned to look at Doan with those beautiful purple eyes. "The hunters have powerful weapons, but there is something I know that they do not. Something that could help you fight. Something that could change everything." Doan leaned forward. "What is it?" Hannah smiled. It was a small smile, but real. "Let me show you why my people once ruled the stars." Above them, the hunters' ships continued their patrol. The deadline was approaching. Soon, Commander Vex would give the order. But he did not know that something had changed. He did not know that the hunted had become dangerous. He would learn soon enough. The facility near Seoul was hidden underground. It had been built during the Cold War, when humans feared nuclear bombs. Now, it protected something far more valuable than weapons. Hannah stood in a large room filled with scientists and engineers. They looked at her with a mix of fear and curiosity. She looked at them with hope. "I will not give you weapons," she said. Her voice was stronger now. She could stand on her own. Her wings, though still damaged, no longer bled light. "Weapons are what destroyed my people. I will not make the same mistake with yours." A scientist named Choi Yoonji stepped forward. She was young, only 28, but she was brilliant. She had built her first computer when she was 9 years old. She had designed satellites for the Korean space program. She was not afraid of anything. "Then what will you give us?" Yoonji asked. Hannah raised her 4 hands. Light gathered between them. It was soft and warm, like sunlight through clouds. The light formed shapes, complex patterns, designs that no human had ever seen. "Shields," Hannah said. "Protection. Your world cannot attack the hunters, but it can defend itself. These shields will stop their weapons. Not forever, but long enough." She moved her hands again. More shapes appeared. Technology to heal wounds that your doctors cannot heal. Technology to save lives. Again, her hands moved. Communication. A way to send messages across the stars. "The hunters think my people are all gone or defeated. But there are loyalists hiding in the distant parts of my empire. If I can contact them, they will come. They will help." Yoonji studied the designs with wide eyes. She was a genius, and she knew genius when she saw it. This was not just advanced technology. This was art. This was beauty made into machines. "How long will it take to build these?" she asked. "With your materials and my knowledge, perhaps 3 days. Maybe 4. Yoonji turned to the military officers in the room. "We need every engineer in the country. We need every factory. We need to work day and night." The officers nodded. Orders were given. Within hours, the greatest engineering project in human history had begun. Doan watched from the corner of the room. He did not understand the technology. He did not need to. His job was simpler. He stayed beside Hannah. He made sure she ate. He made sure she rested. He was her protector, just as he had been since the crash. Nari stood beside him. She was still recording everything. Her story had spread across the world. Now, she was the most famous journalist on Earth, but she did not care about fame. She cared about truth. "The hunters gave us 1 week," she said quietly. "It has been almost 6 days. Do we have enough time?" We have to try, Doan said. What choice do we have? On the seventh day, something happened that no one expected. A small ship appeared in the sky above Korea. It was not black like the hunter ships. It was silver and gold, with graceful curves and beautiful wings. It landed in a field outside the facility. From the ship came a single figure. He was old, ancient by Velith standards. His skin was dark silver. His eyes were clouded with age. But he carried himself like a warrior. He knelt before Hannah and spoke in the Velith language. Then, for the humans watching, he spoke in Korean. My queen, I am Elder Talvik. I was your father's guard. I was your grandfather's guard. I have searched the stars for you, and I have finally found you. Hannah's eyes filled with tears. She touched his face with her hands. I thought everyone was dead, she whispered. I thought I was alone. You're never alone, my queen. There are still those who remember their oaths. There are still those who will fight for you. Talvik brought news. There were loyalist ships hiding in a distant star system. They were waiting for a signal. If Hannah could reach them, they would come to Earth. They would stand against Thix. But they needed time. And time was running out. That night, the hunter fleet moved. Commander Thix had grown tired of waiting. He commanded his ships to descend toward Earth. The deadline had not passed yet, but he did not care. He wanted this finished. The first attack came at midnight. A hunter ship fired on a city in Japan. The beam of energy should have destroyed everything. Millions of people should have died. But something happened. A shield appeared above the city. It glowed blue and gold. The beam hit the shield and scattered like water on rock. The city was saved. Yoonji had done it. Working without sleep for 3 days, she and her team had built the first shield generator. They had installed it just hours before the attack. Around the world, people cheered. They had been told they could not fight. They had been told they were helpless, but they were not. They had a chance. More attacks came. Hunter ships struck at cities in America, Europe, Africa, Asia. Some shields held. Some did not. There was death. There was destruction. But humanity survived, and humanity fought back. Not with alien technology. With their own weapons. Missiles and jets and tanks. These could not destroy the hunter ships, but they could annoy them. They could slow them down. They could make them pay for every inch of sky. Dex watched the battle from his flagship. His face was twisted with anger. Impossible, he growled. These primitives should have surrendered. They should be begging for mercy. Why did they fight? His officers had no answer. In the facility, Hannah worked on the communication device. Her hands moved quickly, building something from parts that Yoonji had gathered. Sweat dripped down her face. Her wounds ached, but she did not stop. Doan was beside her. He handed her tools. He wiped her brow. He did whatever she needed. Almost there, she said. Just a little more. Then the alarm sounded. Hunter soldiers had found the facility. They were breaking through the defenses. The sound of weapons fire echoed through the tunnels. JUNHO ran into the room. They are here. We have to move. I cannot move, Hannah said desperately. If I stop now, the device will fail. We will never reach the loyalists. Junho looked at Doan. They understood each other without words. Then we hold them, Doan said. As long as you need, picked up a weapon from a fallen soldier. He had not held a gun in 2 years. But his hands remembered. His body remembered. Junho gathered his remaining soldiers. Talvik drew an ancient blade that glowed with inner light. They formed a line at the entrance to the room. The hunter soldiers came. They were tall and terrifying. Their armor was black as night. Their weapons hummed with deadly energy. But the humans did not run. The battle was brutal. Junho's soldiers fell one by one. But for every human that died, 2 hunters fell with them. Talvik fought like a demon, his old body moving with impossible speed, and Doan stood at the center of it all. He fired and reloaded. He ducked and dodged. He took wounds but kept fighting. A hunter soldier broke through the line. It ran toward Hannah, weapon raised. Doan threw himself between them. The weapon fired. The beam hit him in the chest. He fell. Hannah screamed. Her hands left the device. She caught Doan as he collapsed. "Oh," she cried. "No, no, no." Doan looked up at her. Blood flowed from his wound. His eyes were fading. "Finish it," he whispered. "Save your people. Save mine." Hannah's eyes blazed with something fierce and ancient. She pressed her hands against his chest. Light poured from her, not from her wounds this time, but from her heart. Her life force flowed into him. His wound began to close. "What are you doing?" he gasped. "Saving you," she said. "Just like you saved me." Around them, Junho and Talvik finished the last of the hunters. The battle was over, but more would come. Hannah returned to the device. Her hands were shaking. She was weak now, weaker than before. She had given part of herself to save Doan, but she did not stop. With one final motion, she activated the device. A beam of light shot up from the facility, through the rock, through the sky, into space. The signal was sent. Now, they could only wait and pray that help would come in time. The sky above Earth had become a battlefield. Hunter ships filled the darkness between stars. Their weapons rained fire on the planet below. Cities burned. Mountains crumbled. Oceans boiled where the beams touched water, but Earth did not fall. Shields protected the largest cities. Human armies fought with everything they had. And in every corner of the world, ordinary people refused to surrender. They hid in basements and caves. They helped each other. They prayed. They waited. On Commander Vex's flagship, the mood was dark. The battle was supposed to be quick. These primitive humans were supposed to kneel and beg. Instead, they fought like cornered animals. "Sir," an officer said nervously, "we have lost 30 ships. Our soldiers are dying faster than expected. The humans have weapons we did not expect." "They have nothing," Vex snarled. "They are insects. Crush them." But even as he spoke, his confidence was shaking. He had conquered worlds before. He had destroyed civilizations, but he had never faced anything like this. These humans did not know when to give up. In the facility beneath Seoul, Hannah lay on a medical bed. She was very weak. Saving Doan had cost her greatly. But she was alive, and the signal had been sent. Doan sat beside her. His chest was bandaged. The wound had healed, but he still felt strange. Different Hannah had given him some of her life force. He did not fully understand what that meant. "How long until help arrives?" he asked. "If the loyalists receive the message, they will come," Hannah said softly. "But space is vast. It may take hours. It may take days. We may not have days. I know." Outside, the battle continued. Junho commanded the defense of the facility. Talvik stood guard at Hannah's door. Nari broadcast live to the world, showing everyone the truth of what was happening. And Youngji worked without rest, building more shields, more defenses, more hope. Then, 3 hours after the signal was sent, something changed. Space itself seemed to tear open. Light poured from the wound in the sky, and through that light came ships. Not hunter ships. These were different. They were silver and gold, with graceful wings and beautiful designs. Loyalist ships. Dozens of them. Maybe hundreds. On the flagship, Dex stared at the screen in horror. "No," he whispered. "That is impossible. They were destroyed. I destroyed them myself." But they were not destroyed. They had hidden. They had waited. And now they had answered their queen's call. The battle shifted. Loyalist ships crashed into the hunter fleet. Old rivalries exploded into violence. Brothers who had been forced apart now fought for their true leader. And Hannah did something that would change everything. She stood up from her bed. Doan tried to stop her, but she shook her head. "I must speak to them," she said. "All of them. Hunters and loyalists alike. This is the only way to end this." She walked to the communication center. Every screen on Earth was connected. Every ship in space could hear. She stood before the cameras and began to speak. Her voice was weak but clear. I am Hannah, queen of the Velith sovereignty. I speak to all my people, those who follow me and those who follow Dex. She paused to gather her strength. Dex tells you that humans are primitive, that they are weak, that they deserve destruction. But I have lived among them. I have seen their hearts. And I tell you that he is wrong. She looked at Dohan, at Yunho, at Nari, and Yunji, and all the humans who had helped her. When I crashed on this world, I was dying. I was alone. I was hunted by my own people. But a human found me. A simple farmer. A healer. He did not know who I was. He did not know the danger. He only knew that I needed help. Her voice grew stronger.
Peace.
He hid me. He risked his life and his world to protect a stranger. Not for reward, not for power, but because it was right. Tears formed in her eyes. That is what we have forgotten. That is what we lost when we chose war over wisdom, power over kindness. The humans remember what we forgot. They are not primitives. They are what we used to be. What we should be again. She turned to look directly into the camera. Dex, your war is built on lies. You said I was weak, but I am standing. You said the humans would kneel, but they are fighting. You said you would win, but you are losing. She spread her arms, her damaged wings catching the light. Any soldier who wishes to return to the true path, lay down your weapons. Join us. Let this madness end. On the hunter ships, soldiers looked at each other. They had followed Dex because they were afraid. They had killed because they were ordered to. But they remembered what their people used to believe. Honor, duty, compassion. One by one, ships stopped firing. Officers refused orders. Soldiers put down their weapons. Dex watched his fleet fall apart. His face twisted with rage. Traitors, he screamed. You are all traitors. He grabbed the controls of his flagship himself. If his soldiers would not finish this, he would. He aimed his ship at Earth. At the facility where Hannah stood, he activated the main weapon, the most powerful cannon in his fleet. One shot would destroy everything, Hannah. The humans. The hope. But he was too slow. A loyalist ship rammed into his flagship. The collision sent both ships spinning. The weapon fired, but the shot went wide, disappearing into empty space. And then more loyalist ships surrounded him. His flagship was captured. His war was over. On Earth, people watched the sky grow quiet. The hunter ships stopped attacking. Many surrendered. Some retreated into space. The battle was ending. In the facility, Hannah collapsed. The speech had taken everything she had left. Doan caught her before she hit the ground. You did it, he said, holding her carefully. It is over. She smiled weakly. Not over. Just beginning. There is much to rebuild. Much to heal. Your world and mine. 3 months passed. Earth was different now. The world knew it was not alone. Treaties were signed between humans and Velith loyalists. Technology was shared. Wounds were healed. The universe had become much larger, and humanity was ready to explore it. Hannah had recovered. She was still weak sometimes, but growing stronger every day. She had become a symbol, not just for her people, but for both species. A reminder that courage and kindness could change everything. On a spring morning, she returned to Gangwon Province. To the rice field where she had crashed, to the farmhouse where Dohan had saved her life. He was waiting for her. He looked different now. More confident, more at peace. The shadows that had haunted him were gone. They walked through the field together. New rice was growing where her ship had burned the earth. Life was returning. You asked me once, Hannah said, what I whispered when we first met. Doan nodded. He remembered. Those words had haunted him. I said they would destroy your world, she continued. I believed it. I was certain that helping me would bring death to everyone you loved. She stopped walking. She turned to face him. I was wrong. Hey? Doan smiled. You were not wrong about everything. Dex did try to destroy us, but he failed. Because of you. Because of your people. Because humans do not give up even when they should.
Out.
She reached out and took his hand. Her 4 fingers wrapped around his 5. Your world did not burn. Instead, your world saved mine. One act of kindness started a revolution. One farmer changed the fate of galaxies. Doan felt warmth in his chest. Not from the life force she had given him, but from something else. Something human. I just helped someone who needed help, he said quietly. That is all. That is everything. They stood in the field as the sun rose higher. Around them, the world was waking up. Birds sang. Wind moved through the young rice plants. Somewhere in the distance, children laughed. Above them, the stars waited. New friends. New adventures. New worlds to discover. Hannah looked up at the sky, then back at Dohan. Will you come with me? She asked. There is a whole universe out there. I want to show it to you. Doan thought about his farm, his simple life, the peace he had found in solitude. Then he thought about the crash, the queen. Everything that had happened because he chose to help instead of hide. He smiled. Yes, he said. I will come.